This week's filmmaking tip is to not take things personally. This is one of the hardest things to do, I think, as a human. I think it's also especially difficult in artistic fields like filmmaking because our art is often very personally informed. We feel potentially exposed in what the characters are doing or the plot or how we've shaped things. The stories might be informed by personal experiences, or you're putting your heart and soul into this project. And so of course, it's personal. So if someone doesn't like it, if you get negative feedback, if you don't get into fellowships, competitions, festivals, labs, get bad coverage scores. I mean, there's so much rejection in this industry that you just can't take it personally. It's one of the most important life hacks if you want to be in this field. And again, I think it's important just as a human being to not take things personally because when somebody doesn't respond to your text or doesn't respond to your email, doesn't call you back right away, it's not because they hate you and think you're a terrible person. It's because they have busy lives and things fall through the cracks all the time. And that's something that I've talked about in other videos about professional jealousy, where you feel personally rejected by competitions or things like that, and or you see somebody that you know getting something, and obviously we want our friends to be successful. It's not that you wish ill on other people, but again, there's a very natural feeling that goes along with being rejected and wondering kind of why your project was not selected versus somebody else's. And I think it's okay to acknowledge that while also still supporting and cheering on our friends and other people who are making great strides in the industry. It is a very competitive industry. So there's just a high level of competition. And so again, you can't take it personally that the panel of judges for a festival or a lab or whatever, like maybe they just clicked with that particular project, or there were other reasons involved for why they programmed it, or when they were reading the script, this was what was going on that connected with the reader. All of these things are out of our control. What is within our control is our behavior in these networking spaces with our peers and our colleagues and our friends in this industry, where I think it's important to think about the negative feelings that you might have when you want to take something personally and find a positive spin or figure out what your ask is in connecting with some of these people. So I've certainly had this experience, and sometimes I've felt this myself, where people together, people in your community get together and they make projects, and sometimes it can feel like, oh, well, I'd like to be a part of that, you know? Um, and the negative side of that is feeling excluded for some reason, like, oh, they must not like me because they keep doing projects together. And like I said, I've also had this experience where people have come up to me and, you know, said in various ways that, like, you know, essentially, why have I never hired them or something? Um, and I think that it's the reality, especially of production, is so crazy. And the luck and chance and kind of spontaneity of how things come together is a whirlwind. And it can be hard to think outside of that sometimes because you're just looking for ways to get things done, and whatever comes around is how it is. And so again, it's not personal against anyone in particular. It's just the way things came together. And so if you find yourself wanting to be a part of what's going on in your community, I recommend saying, I would love to work with you. You know, what is your next project? Or what are some of the things that you're interested in doing moving forward? Or is there a way to collaborate together? And then to also follow up on that. Because again, you might meet somebody and not see them for another few months, and the world could change by then. Something might come up, something might have fallen through, other things happen. It's important to follow up with people and not always be kind of waiting to be picked. And you might also find that you aren't good collaborators, you know, and these people aren't the people that you want to work for. There's a certain amount of things falling into place in in terms of finding the right people for you. And so sometimes that's also part of it. Is sometimes it's just finding the right personalities, finding the right projects. You know, I don't typically do horror, you know, you might typically do horror, you know, it depends. Are we looking to expand out from what we're looking to do? All of these are conversations. And so I think the more we try and treat each other as humans and really with the best intentions possible. I know that probably sounds a little idealistic or Pollyanna, but I it's better than the kind of negative alternative.